So if you have any doubt about whether their harmonica is fighting with you too much, here's how to assess it. Play the chords really quietly. Now the train rhythms we mostly do on holes 1 and 2. So if you just play 1 and 2. Okay, now what I'm hearing is when I play it really quietly, I hear just draw 1, and then when I do the out breath, the blow chord, I'm hearing both notes. So I have to play this harder, and we don't want to have to strain to get these reeds moving. So what we're going to do is take the lower cover plate off on this harmonica, and I'm going to do some real quick adjustments and show you how you can do that quickly and with no risk. Okay, so here we go. So the first step is to remove the cover plates. On a marine band type harmonica, you have to use a knife to pry up the cover plates, which is what I'm doing right at the moment. Alright, now, if you've never worked on a harmonica reed before, or if you have and found yourself pushing them deep into, pushing them into the slot, and you want to just get a sense for the touch before you start working on your reeds, here's a great way to do this. I'm going to be working with a round toothpick on these reeds, but check this out. Now, this is my index finger knuckle, and I'm just kind of moving it along, looking at my skin, and if you can feel that, it's a little too hard. I mean, if it sort of hurts, and the skin takes a while to recover from it, you want to be able to just kind of go like this, and you see how that little how my skin recovers quickly from that. Just this way, if you start on the reeds with this kind of pressure and then just gradually increase it, you're not going to hurt the reeds. Now, I'm going to show you how to use this round toothpick, and if you follow these instructions that I'm about to give you carefully, you cannot damage your harmonica reeds. Okay? So this is what I want to do. I want to lower these reeds a little bit, and what I'm doing is I'm taking this toothpick and keeping in mind that what I just showed you about the pressure, the feel of the pressure, the resistance of the reed against the toothpick. You want to hold this toothpick at it looks like about a 20-degree angle or so, and I'm pushing on the reed. I'm just gently starting near the tip of the reed, pushing down and then bringing it back, and doing this until I can see a difference in the reed. All right, there. Okay, now the reed is now a lot closer to the reed plate. Next step is to plink the reed, and when you plink the reed, it's going to end up at a resting spot, which will be different than what you got when you just push the reed down. So now we've got the reed lowered, and we're testing it. I'm going to move the this number 1 reed down a little bit, and same basic process. Just gradually increasing the pressure a little tiny bit at a time until I see the reed go into the slot. Now, if it goes into the slot a little too far, and you can't get, just if you do push the reed into the slot a little too much, you can do this maneuver. Take the toothpick and just gently push it back up until it's high enough that you can get a knife blade underneath it to plink it. So, plinking the reeds a little bit. The number 1 reed came back up quite a bit when I plinked it, so it needs to be redone. You know, we're working with springs, and in order to change a spring, you have to push it beyond its point of resistance. And this is trial and error. But eventually, when you plink the reed, it's not going to come back up as much as it did. And if you feel it's a little too low, you can raise it by lifting up the tip of the reed with the knife a little bit. And it's the same basic process. You feel the resistance and you plink the reed. So now we've got those 2 reeds adjusted, 1 and 2, and those are the ones we were testing. So let's see what happens now. Very light pressure. And I can still hit those reeds pretty darn hard, even though they're noticeably closer. Okay, quick review here. What we're going to do is just take a quick look at how you can change a reed. And what you're doing is you're taking the reed, you're using a round toothpick, and you push down at the tip. You keep the toothpick at a 20-degree or steeper angle, and then just push that reed down into the slot, gently massaging it down a little bit, only gradually increasing your pressure. And then you will finally get the reed to sit a little bit lower. And then you test what you're doing by plinking the reed. If you can't get the knife blade under the reed to test it, you can push the reed up once again, starting gently, up just high enough to get the knife blade underneath it. So you use that process, rinse and repeat until you have the reed sitting where you think it should be, and then you test it. And you test the lower reeds. Just hit them hard, and if they don't blank out, you're done. The top reeds, you can do this weed whacker, or just play the reeds, hit them hard. If they still work, then you're done. Now your last step is to put the cover plate back on. If you're working on a marine band type harmonica, it helps if you take a pair of needle nose pliers and just take the nail and work it up a little bit. Now your last step is to put the cover plate back on. If you're working on a marine band type harmonica, it helps if you take a pair of needle nose pliers and just take the nail and work it up a little bit, like so. And another thing to do is when you pried the cover plate off, you also lifted this tab up a little bit. So if you put your thumb on the inside of the cover plate like this and use your index finger and just push it down just a tiny bit so it's not, you know, up this way, it's back down a little bit, it will sit flatter. It's the same thing here. And then we go to put it on the harmonica and just take your time, wiggle the nails into the holes. If you took the cover plate off of this particular harmonica, those nails should line up pretty darn well. And then you can just start wiggling them back in with the needle nose pliers and push them in the rest of the way. Of course, if you have a harmonica that's put together with screws, then you don't have to worry about this step.